I'm ready to release the Electra One Continuum Controller for slim continuums running 10.35 or later firmware. This will only right now run on slim continuums because it has internal tables that are based on the slim continuum system preset set. Now I've tested this with 10.3.8, which is the current beta version that we're using at Haken Audio, and also some slim continuum 8X owners may have 10.3.8 as well. Only slim continuum 8X owners can really test this right now because they're, I think, the only ones that are running 10.35 or later. The first thing that you're going to want to do is connect your Electra One to your slim continuum. This is not using USB MIDI right now. The Electra One should be connected using port 1 of your Electra One to your Continuum. So you'll connect the DIN port 1 output of the Electra One to the MIDI TRS in on the Continuum. You'll need a DIN to TRS adapter for that. And you'll connect the MIDI in port with the DIN on the Electra One to the MIDI out using TRS as well. That's all you should need to do to connect this. You will have to connect your Electra One to your computer to get to the Electra One website to download the application to your Electra One. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to the Electra One site, log in under your username, and hopefully I'll have the Electra One beta version that I'll be showing you here ready for you to start using. Now a little bit about the use. Of course you know how to use your Electra One already, I assume. Most of this application is only going to use the left 3 buttons so that you can change your control set. The way this is set up, at least on the main page, the top 2 rows of control set 1 are used to do your macro interface changes and preset changes, selection, storing, etc. And then the bottom 2 control sets on the main page are used for selecting your presets. You have your 16 user presets per bank, and then you have 8 possible bank selections. This is kind of similar to how the editor works now, but it's a little faster since you only have to press 2 buttons to do what you need to do. And of course, then there'll be a number of pages that you can scroll through, and you'll use the normal page change command, bottom right button, to select your page menu, and then there'll be 6 possible pages that you can bring up to do various things. Now let's go to the Electra One. Let's assume you've already loaded the application from the Electra One site. I'll turn off the Electra One. We'll turn it on. Electra One will boot, and then you'll see your Continuum, if you connected things correctly, go into a wait mode as the Electra One tries to download presets from the Continuum user presets. Now, sometimes this gets a little out of sync. You can always press this load preset button, and I suggest you do this on boot up, and that will go through and reload the presets. And here we see at the top control set, we have all the macros. The first thing you'll do is select a preset, let's say Woodwind in this case. It'll load up the preset from the Continuum. It'll show you what the macro controllers are for that preset with the names of the macro controllers. And then you can simply play. And it's that easy to load presets now. You can go to some other preset. Here, this is one I'm working on, banjo picker. And then you can change your macro controls. Etc. Next thing, let's say you want to go to another bank of presets. I can go and select something else. Here I'll select another bank of presets, and I can select one from that set. Okay, and it's that easy. You can go through, select your bank. Most of your banks may be empty. That's okay. A little dash means a bank is empty. We can store presets to banks here too, either user presets or system presets. Let's go back to the main page, And let's say we want to store this little Bansuri preset I created to, let's say, preset number 86. As you change banks, all the presets are numbered. So we'll go back to the first page. I'll select my Bansuri preset. You'll see here the current preset says Bansuri. Now what you can do is make sure you're on the top control set. Say what position you want to store your current preset to. So I'll select position. The minute I start changing position, the current preset will change to a store preset mode, and then I can just go to 86, press the store preset. That'll go back to its normal current preset, and now current preset's Bansuri. And we can go to our page 86. There's Bansuri. I can press that and load it from that page. And it's that easy to store presets. Let's say I want to remove that preset. I can select an empty preset, go back, change my position to 86 again, select it, and the preset will be cleared out. Basically, it'll be copying an empty preset to that. When you store a preset, it goes back to the first page. That's just how I have it right now. I can change that later if I think I want to stay on the page you selected. But that's how you will store a user preset. Let's say I want to bring up a system preset. You can select a category and presets in a category. So let's go there. Let me select the category. Let's say Winds. And then I will select a preset in that category. And let's pick a preset. Let's say double read. We'll select double read. That comes up. Its macros are assigned. And now I can play double read. And now that this is my current preset, I can go in, and if I want to store that, I can go to the store position. Say I want to store that to user position 87 this time. I'll store that. We'll go to the screen where 87 is, and there's my double read preset that's stored there. So selecting presets, storing presets, emptying presets, all very easy to do on the first page, and then you can also change your macro controller assignments as well. So there's still going to be a number of things that you'll use the editor for. One thing might be copying a lot of your own presets to user positions. The Electra One does not interface with your computer to load a preset from your computer. You'll have to use the editor for that. You can't edit presets in the Electra One controller interface. That you'll have to use the editor for to modify presets or create new ones. You can't change MKII settings right now in this. You can't change preserve, replace settings. I might add that later on, but I didn't want to add too much to this initial release. All right, let's go look at some of the internal menus that we can play with. So we'll click the menu option, and you'll see there's the preset, macro, main controller playing interface we just looked at. There's effects, pedals, gain convolution, transposition, rounding, tuning, and some information on the last page. The effects and pedals will let you change any of your reverb types. When a preset is loaded, it collects the information that is sent from the Continuum and sets the parameters to their current values, and from there you can change them. There you can hear the mix changed. Now you can also do things like change the reverb type. So I can change this to, say, an echo. Similar things that the editor can do. There's a lot of similarity in what you can do in the editor for control and the Electra One Continuum Controller. So I can change any of my recirculator types in 10.35 and later. There's a new long reverb type. The long reverb type has an R6, an extra parameter for control. You can change your compressor values. Now 10.35 and later has a 10H function on the master section output. You can also program this per voice internally in the matrix, but as a master section function, you can click compressor, and that will change to the 10H function, and your 10H controls will appear. 10H is doing soft clipping like operations on your output. You can change your audio input. You can change your split modes here. You can change which of the split modes you want, and then you can change your split point as well. You can change your pedal assignments, whether you want your pedal assigned to sustain or SAS1, SAS2, or a macro controller. Any of the options you can set it to in the editor. Just remember, when you set something in the controller, just like when you set it in the editor, that is not storing that in the preset. To have your new parameter changes take effect, you need to store them to a user preset. Because if you go to another preset and come back without storing it, those changes that you made will be lost, both in the editor and in the Continuum Controller. So you can select your pedal assignments. You can assign sustain or sostenuto with your rotaries if you don't have a pedal to do it with. And you can change your mono mode. Mono mode on, mono mode off. Some presets have a mono mode on. This will be green when you load a preset if that preset has mono mode applied to it already. So you can turn the mono mode off and on. Then you can select which mono mode you're using, portamento, legato, whatever you want. Then you can also select your mono mode interval, just like in the editor. So that's the effects and pedals page. We'll go to gain and convolution page. There you can set your attenuation output, your pre and post master section gains. You can change any of your convolutions, the convolution type, and you'll notice there are a lot more convolutions now than there were before, about twice as many for you to play with. Of course, your convolutions are only going to take effect if you have convolution programmed in your preset, else this will have no effect. And you can then change all your convolution options, the length of the convolution, tuning, width, and the new left and right stereo convolution settings. You can also change this new equal power setting on convolution, turn it on and off. Okay, so that's the attenuation and convolution page. Transposition page, I made this easy for you. You can turn transpositions on and off. To turn it on, just select something. There, I lowered by a minor second. I can transpose anything else I want. Lower a major sixth. Up a minor third from my initial note, or I can turn my transposition off. You can also transpose by octaves. And if you want, you can even change the surface direction. When you move up, it'll play down. That's another continuum function. Then finally on this page, you have your octave switching functions. If you assign your octave switch to the pedal, these will take effect just like in the editor. Now let's take a look at my rounding and tuning menu. Here you can change your rounding rate. You can turn round initial on and off. You can change your rounding modes just like in the editor. You can assign a tuning grid or adjust temperament or an equal division of the octave, but I'm not sure that really works right now. If you want just tuning D, you can select that and that will be applied. If you want to turn that off, just simply select equal or tuning and that'll turn it back to equal temperament by just pressing. You have your fine-tune adjustment by plus or minus 60 cents. If you have a tuning grid assigned, you can simply select that and that'll be applied. You'll need the pitch table editor to create tuning grids, and that's the tuning page. Finally, we have an info page, and that will just give you information on your current preset, what its polyphony is, what the Midi polyphony is, DSP polyphony, other things that you can see in your editor. These are not changeable right now. They're not settable. I might make them settable in some new version, but I didn't want people playing around and readjusting MKII parameters and not realizing what happened to their preset. So for right now, these are just information only, and I'll probably add in the replace and preserve options like you can see in Midi and global settings in some future release. So that is the basics of this Electra One Continuum Controller. I'm going to put this up on the Electra One site that you can download and start playing with. This is not a Haken audio product. So please do not raise Haken audio support tickets for this. If you want to send some feedback, should be on the Electra One web page for this preset that I will put up there. And hopefully for Electra One users, this will be of some use. I'm going to start work on an EaganMatrix Module version next. The Osmose Electra One plans I have put on hold because with the new 2.0.15 Osmose release, you can no longer access presets remotely, so I'm not going to waste my time until Osmose comes out with a Midi interface for that. And ContinuuMIni, I might support. ContinuuMIni is a USB-only product. I may support ContinuuMIni after that, but to do that, you're going to have to use a USB MIDI host with DIN adapters on it, so you can connect up your Electra One to the DIN interface and the USB to the ContinuuMIni. I'm not going to support a direct USB interface on this controller at this point. So that's it, and good luck on your beta testing if you so choose to do so.